Dr. Jen for Boni, better known as DocJenFit, and we're gonna address knock knees. So do you notice that your knees maybe come together as you're going into squats? Maybe it's something that you see in the mirror, you notice, or maybe when you're doing a single leg exercise, you think, why is my knee always wanting to drop in? And I have to try so hard to try to force it out. Let's go over some tips and cues that you can do to start to bring awareness and change it, okay? First of all, you should be doing some exercises in a mirror. It's just good visual feedback. You don't have to have a mirror. You can always just look and see your own body, but sometimes you don't want to change your gaze that much that you're looking down all the time, right? So just having that feedback, not all the time again, but sometimes you just raise awareness of what's happening, especially in single leg exercises. I think it's a huge, important aspect to just have that visual feedback so you get to see, is my knee really coming on the inside of my toe as I'm going into some exercises, or does it stay in a straight line over the second or third toe? What is happening as I'm squatting, or maybe even as I jump squat? Maybe in regular squats, you're just doing just fine. The moment you go into jump squats, your knees want to come together. It's not something to extremely fear, but it's just something to help bring awareness to. Now, one of the biggest strategies that I have is about feeding what's happening. So this means that I'm actually going to force that a little bit more so that your body naturally is like, oh, I don't want that to happen. I need to work against it. And one of the best ways to do that, grabbing a band. When you grab a band and you place it around the knees, this is naturally wanting to pull your knees in, right? So as I go into a squat, it's naturally going to want to keep my knees together. When I now am thinking, oh, I need to push against the band. So naturally, it's just a good natural reaction to tell the brain, don't let the knees fall in. Nope, push against it. So whether I'm doing a lunge, I'm pushing against it. I'm gonna open that band. Whether I'm doing a squat, I'm gonna open that band. Or maybe even a jump squat. Oh, keep those knees open. So it's a constant reminder to that brain that I want to do something against what it's telling me to do. So it's feeding the area that it's usually going into so that it's telling your brain, no, work against it, work against it, work against it. So whether you're doing side steps, or my favorite, don't just do side steps. Don't just do the thing that you think is going to strengthen it, but actually do it in the movement that's causing that. So whether it is putting the band around your knees or taking one of the long bands, wrapping it around, and then tying it onto something stable, something that's pulling that knee and making you work to have to pull that knee out, okay? That is just what these bands are for. They're giving that feedback. It's not necessarily to make sure that your booty is nice and strong, but a lot of times it's just to give that awareness and feedback so your body starts to do something different. So the moment you take it off, you now are starting to squat differently. You're starting to jump differently. Your lunges are looking a little different, and it's naturally starting to happen without you having to force it or think about it. Okay, that's the great thing with the bands. It's not just about building the booty. And if you're just doing exercises to build the booty and expect a different result, when you take that band off, it might not be doing its job. So make sure you're using it with the intention of what it's supposed to do. Now, the other thing is that we need to improve our balance. So if I'm standing, how do you balance? What does your foot do? What does your ankle do? What does your hip do? Does it drop the moment that you come up? Can you stand nice and tall? Can you have a slight bend in the knee so that you have full control of what's happening? Can you close your eyes? Ooh, what happens when you do that? Comment below. What do you feel? Do you fall right away? Do you notice that you lean a lot? Do you want to use your hands? Is there a different side to side? You got to check one side versus another, because how your foot is responding and reacting to the ground is going to play a role in what's happening with my knee. So it's so important that we don't forget that we're just focusing on the knee or the hip, but we're also listening to the feet. So one good way, not only, yes, work on your balance, but a good way to actually bring awareness, again, feed the feet. So I'm gonna put a band around my knee. Well, let me put the band around my legs first, and then around my feet. And now, so instead of letting my knees and my feet drop, I'm gonna push against both. So I wanna push against the band and push against my knee. And maybe I do that with side steps, okay? Maybe I wanna do that with the squats, and I wanna push against both with my feet and with my knees. That is going to play a role in what's happening up the chain, okay? Then, if you want to help to improve that balance, maybe I want to work on not only just holding and strengthening, but I want to work on strengthening that leg at the same time. Okay, ooh, I kept the harder band on. A little bit more difficult for my hip, but now I'm making my foot work, I'm making my hip work, I'm reaching in all different directions. It doesn't matter where you reach. I'm just doing a 3-point reach right now, keeping some tension on that band, making my leg work harder to keep it out. My whole foot, my ankle, it has to stay out, my knee, and I'm making my balance better at the same time. If you want your knees to get better, we can't just focus on double leg exercises. We have to do single leg exercises as well to help build that strength, that balance, and that awareness. And my last little tip for you, my last best strategy for getting rid of those knock knees is that we're not just stretching, but we're not afraid to get strong. Okay, I love yoga. I love mobility. I love doing those things. If you've followed me for a while, you know that I love mobility, right? I love getting out of restrictions, releasing the body, and feeling less tension. But I also love getting strong. And I think it is such an important tool that we load the body. We put more resistance on the body beyond just a couple pounds, beyond just bands, but we actually get comfortable lifting a little bit heavier as well. That load on the body is going to build that resiliency. And the more that you start to, understand, okay, I'm improving my balance, I'm feeding the problem and I'm making it better, then you can add weight and load. And the stronger you get, the more resilient your body's going to get. And it's not going to end up falling into this weaker position. It's going to stay strong always, and it's going to naturally work with you no matter where you go. So lift the weights. Get strong. Don't worry about how it looks or what it's supposed to look like or what your body is supposed to look like. Just feed your healthy body by getting strong, being resilient, and still maintaining that mobility. It's not going to go anywhere as long as you maintain both. So that's my last little message. Those are the 3 strategies to really help to prevent that knock knee. If you have more questions or you want me to elaborate or maybe show some strength exercises in the future, I would love to help you out. So please just let me know exactly what you want to see and how I can help support you better in your body. If you love what you're learning, don't forget there's so much more that I have in store. So hit that subscribe button, check out the other videos so that you don't miss anything and you continue to learn and feel amazing within your body.